Let's be completely honest with each other right now. Nobody is coming to save you. Nobody is going to hand you your dream life on a silver platter. There is no magical lottery ticket that's going to fix your bank account, your fitness, or your peace of mind while you sit on the couch waiting for a miracle. Look around you. Look at your room. Look at your daily routine. Look at where you are in your career or your education. If you are waiting for a stroke of luck or an accidental breakthrough to completely change the trajectory of your existence, you are playing a losing game. The brutal truth that most people spend their entire lives running away from is simple. Your life will not improve by chance. It will only improve by choice. Every single day you spend telling yourself that you'll start tomorrow or that you just don't have the resources right now, you're actively choosing to settle for mediocrity. But what if I told you that the only thing standing between the version of you sitting here today and the highest, most successful version of you is a series of lies you've chosen to believe? What if the obstacles you think are holding you back are actually just comfort blankets you use to avoid taking real responsibility? Over the next few minutes, we're going to dismantle those lies completely. We're going to look at the exact psychological shifts, daily habits, and environmental changes you need to make to stop drifting and start dominating. If you're ready to stop making excuses and start building a life you are actually proud of, then don't look away, because this conversation might just change everything. Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. I am incredibly glad you clicked on this video today because it tells me something very specific about you. You are tired of playing small. You know deep down that there is an extra gear inside of you that you haven't shifted into yet. Whether you're trying to break out of a creative rut, scale your business, master a new skill, or simply reclaim control of your daily routine, you have come to the right place. Before we unlock these core principles, do me a quick favor. Drop a comment below right now and let me know one specific area of your life where you feel stuck. Is it your discipline, your environment, your mindset? Let's turn the comments section into a real-time community roundtable where we can support each other's growth. And if you want to make sure you never miss out on these deep dives into self-mastery, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Now, grab a notebook, clear away your distractions, and let's get straight to work. Let's start by tearing down the biggest myth in modern culture, the myth of accidental success. We live in an era of viral sensations, overnight millionaires, and curated social media feeds that make it look like people just wake up one day and find themselves at the top of the mountain. But I want you to understand something clearly. No one climbs a mountain by accident. Nobody accidentally builds a multi-million-dollar enterprise. Nobody accidentally gets into peak physical condition, and nobody accidentally develops a calm, resilient, and highly focused mind. Every single piece of greatness you admire in this world is the result of a deliberate, conscious, and often painful decision to pursue excellence. When you see someone who is fluent in 4 languages, or someone who can command a room of thousands of people, or someone who has built immense financial freedom, you're looking at the tip of an iceberg. Beneath the surface lie thousands of hours of unseen, unglamorous, and deeply tedious work. Success is a calculated equation where your clear intent, must be matched with relentless execution. So why do so many of us struggle to get started? It's because we have become absolute masters at manufacturing lies. We create these elaborate, comforting narratives to shield ourselves from the pain of our own inaction. Let's look at the classic excuses we all hear and probably tell ourselves every single day. We say we're too young to start a business or be taken seriously, or we say we are too old to switch careers or learn how to code. We claim we don't have enough money to buy the right equipment or take that course, or we tell ourselves we literally just do not have the time because of our job or our family. Let's analyze these for what they truly are. Sophisticated defense mechanisms designed by your brain to protect you from the fear of failure. When you say you don't have time, what you are really saying is that your future is not a priority. When you say you don't have money, you are ignoring the infinite archive of free information, books, and courses available on the internet. Think about this. The vast majority of people who fail in life do not fail because they lack intelligence or talent. We live in a world overflowing with highly intelligent, deeply creative, and phenomenally talented people who are completely broke, deeply miserable, and utterly unfulfilled. They didn't fail due to a lack of cognitive capacity. They failed due to a failure to take action. They thought about their goals. They planned their goals. They color-coded their calendars. And they talked about their dreams at dinner parties. But when it came time to actually do the heavy lifting when nobody was watching, they let their excuses win. If you want to break out of this trap, you have to adopt a policy of absolute, radical honesty with yourself. The next time you catch yourself saying, I can't do this because of X, Y, or Z, pause and reframe it. Ask yourself, is this a factual, insurmountable physical law of the universe? Or am I just looking for an exit ramp so I don't have to risk failing? Once you eliminate the exit ramps, the only direction left to move is forward. Now that we've cleared away the excuses, let's talk about the currency of your life, time. We often treat money as our most precious resource. We budget it, we lock it away in bank accounts, and we get incredibly angry if someone tries to steal it from us. Yet we treat our time, the one truly finite, irreplaceable, and non-refundable asset we possess, like it's completely worthless. Think about your lifespan as a bank account. Every single morning, you are credited with 86,400 seconds. At the end of the night, whatever you didn't use is wiped clean. You don't get to carry it over to the next day. You don't get to save it in an insurance account. It is gone forever. Now, let me ask you a direct question, and I want you to be brutally honest with yourself. How many of those seconds did you spend yesterday staring at a glowing screen, endlessly scrolling through algorithmically engineered short-form videos that you won't even remember 10 minutes from now? How many hours did you spend binge watching a fictional series on Netflix, living vicariously through characters someone else created, while your own life story sat completely stagnant on the shelf? Every single hour you spend trading your attention for cheap, short-term dopamine hits is an hour you're directly throwing away your future. You are literally taking the bricks that could have built your dream home, your dream business, or your dream relationship and tossing them into the ocean. to understand the true power of change, think about the mathematics of personal growth. If you can improve by just 1% every single day for an entire year, those tiny gains compound dramatically. By the end of 365 days, you won't just be slightly better. You will actually be nearly 38 times better than when you started. Let's look at how incredibly simple this looks in practice. When it comes to fitness, if you commit to exercising for just 10 minutes a day, that adds up to over 60 hours of total physical training in a single year. For language and education, learning just 5 new vocabulary words a day means you will add 1,825 new words to your lexicon over the year. And for reading and knowledge, if you read just 10 pages of a nonfiction book a day, you will finish roughly 15 full books in a single year. Think about that for a moment. 10 minutes of movement, 5 words, 10 pages. None of these actions require extraordinary talent, massive amounts of capital, or hours of free time. They require something far scarcer: discipline when you don't feel like it. Success is not built through a single monumental leap of heroic effort. It is constructed brick by brick, day in and day out, through tiny, seemingly insignificant choices that the rest of the world ignores. We've talked about the mechanics of time and action, but discipline without a deeper purpose is just empty white knuckling. To truly sustain change when the initial excitement fades, you need an emotional anchor. You need a why that is so profound, so deeply rooted in your core, that it can pull you out of bed at 5 in the morning on a freezing winter night when your entire body is screaming at you to hit the snooze button. For many of us, the most powerful emotional anchor we can ever find lies in looking at the people who brought us into this world and sustained us, our parents or guardians. Think about the sacrifices that have been made on your behalf. Think about the long hours they worked, the stress they endured, the dreams they put on the shelf, and the comforts they gave up just to give you a platform to stand on. They sacrificed their youth, their energy, and their peace of mind so that you could have a chance to build something extraordinary. Now, let me ask you a heavy question. Are you honoring those sacrifices with the way you are living your life today? When you choose comfort over discipline, when you choose laziness over focus, you are effectively telling those who sacrifice for you that their efforts weren't worth it. One of the greatest challenges you can set for yourself is to achieve a level of success where you can look your parents in the eyes and tell them, you don't ever have to worry again. I've got it from here. Imagine being able to provide them with absolute peace, financial security, and the happiness of knowing that their investment in you yielded a person of immense character, strength, and capability. Let that vision be the fuel that drives you forward when you feel tired. But let's be entirely realistic about what this requires. This level of impact demands a fundamental choice between comfort and growth. True growth and short-term comfort cannot coexist in the same space. They are mortal enemies. If you want to experience the deep satisfaction of reaching your true potential, you must be willing to pay the market price for it. And the market price of success must be paid in the currency of sacrifice. You have to sacrifice the comfort of sleeping in until noon on the weekends. You have to sacrifice the immediate social validation of going out to party with people who are content with staying exactly where they are. You have to be willing to accept early mornings, late nights, a quiet social calendar, and the deep solitary discomfort of hard work. Growth is found exclusively in the discomfort zone. If you are entirely comfortable with your daily routine, you are not growing. You are decaying. You cannot expect to have an extraordinary life while maintaining an ordinary routine. You have to choose your heart. Staying stuck, feeling unfulfilled, and living with regret is hard. Waking up early, pushing your limits, and building an empire is also hard. Choose which hard you want to live with. Now, let's move into the tactical execution of this transformation. To sustain a life of action and sacrifice, you must first re-engineer your internal ecosystem, your mind and your external ecosystem, your environment. Let's look at your mind first. I want you to think of your subconscious mind as a highly fertile plot of land, a garden. A garden doesn't care what kind of seeds you plant in it. It will grow whatever you introduce to the soil with absolute efficiency. If you plant seeds of doubt, hesitation, fear, and insecurity by constantly consuming toxic news, comparing yourself to others on social media, and telling yourself that you aren't capable, your mind garden will yield a thick, suffocating harvest of anxiety and paralysis. But if you deliberately plant seeds of confidence, clarity, ambition, and possibility, your mind will naturally grow a harvest of solutions, creative ideas, and relentless drive. This isn't mystical wishful thinking. This is cognitive psychology. When your input consists of positive affirmations and clear visualization, your mind garden transforms that energy into direct action and real-world solutions. On the flip side, if your input is filled with toxic news and constant self-doubt, your mind garden has no choice but to produce anxiety and paralysis. To reprogram your cognitive architecture, you must implement a daily protocol of positive affirmations and vivid visualization. Before you touch your phone in the morning, spend 2 minutes explicitly stating who you are becoming, what you value, and what you're going to execute today. Close your eyes and mentally rehearse your day. See yourself handling difficult tasks with grace, pushing through fatigue, and remaining utterly focused. You're training your brain to recognize success before it even happens in the physical world. But you can have the most beautifully cultivated mind garden in the world, and it won't matter if your external environment is constantly dumping toxic waste onto it. We need to talk about environmental engineering and specifically your inner circle. There is an old, undeniable law of human sociology. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Look at your closest circle of friends right now. What are they talking about when you hang out? Are they discussing ideas, investments, fitness goals, and books? Or are they gossiping about other people, complaining about their bosses, talking about the weekend party, and whining about how unfair life is? If you're the most motivated, disciplined, and forward-thinking person in your current social circle, I'm telling you right now, you are in the wrong circle. It is time to audit your relationships. You must cut off, or at the very least, distance yourself from toxic, unmotivated, and cynical friends who pull you back down into the crab bucket every time you try to climb out. Surround yourself exclusively with winners, with people who make you feel uncomfortable because they're outworking you, outlearning you, and outgrowing you. That discomfort is exactly what pushes you to level up. Now, as you embark on this path of radical change, let's address the elephant in the room, the fear of failure. Many people never step out of their comfort zone because they are terrified of falling flat on their face. But we need to completely redefine what failure actually means. Failure is not the opposite of success. Failure is an irreplaceable, foundational milestone on the road to success. Every great achievement in human history is built upon a massive mountain of failed attempts. Let's take a step back from theory and look at real, undeniable human history to prove this point. Let's look at 3 individuals who encountered massive resistance, yet used failure as the exact fuel they needed to alter the world. Think about Oprah Winfrey. Today, she is a global media icon, a billionaire, and one of the most deeply respected and influential philanthropists on the planet. But her story did not begin in a place of privilege or comfort. She was born into extreme poverty in rural Mississippi to a single teenage mother. She faced an incredibly turbulent, traumatic childhood marked by severe abuse, neglect, and immense societal barriers. When she finally broke into the television industry as an evening news co-anchor in Baltimore, she wasn't met with immediate praise. Instead, she was abruptly fired from her high-profile role because the producers claimed she was unfit for television news due to becoming too emotionally invested in the story she reported. Imagine how easy it would have been for her to accept that verdict. She could have looked at her traumatic past, her lack of resources, and the explicit rejection of industry experts, and said, well, I guess I'm just not meant for this. But she didn't. She realized that her intense emotional empathy, the very trait they fired her for, was her greatest superpower. She pivoted, leaned entirely into her authentic voice, and went on to build a media empire that revolutionized daytime television forever. Her failure was not an end. It was a necessary redirect. Let's move from media to sports and look at Michael Jordan, widely regarded as the greatest basketball player of all time. We all know the highlight reels, the championship rings, the iconic buzzer beaters, and the global brand. But let's look at a teenage Michael Jordan back in 1978 at Lamont High School. He was a sophomore trying out for the varsity basketball team. He wanted it more than anything. But when the list was posted on the gymnasium wall, his name wasn't on it. The coach deemed him too short and chose other players instead. Jordan went home, locked himself in his bedroom, and wept uncontrollably. But he didn't stay in that room. He didn't quit the sport to protect his ego. Instead, he used that exact rejection as a psychological anchor. Every single day after that, when he was running sprints, when his lungs were burning, when he was practicing jump shots in the pouring rain, he would visualize that list on the gym wall without his name on it. He let the pain of failure become the infinite reservoir of discipline that eventually carried him to 6 NBA championships and global immortality. As Jordan famously stated later in his career, he missed more than 9,000 shots in his career and lost almost 300 games. 26 times, he was trusted to take the game-winning shot and missed. He failed over and over and over again in his life, and that is exactly why he succeeded. Finally, let's look at the scientific and technological realm with Thomas Edison. Imagine trying to solve one of the greatest engineering puzzles of the modern age, creating a commercially viable, long-lasting incandescent light bulb. Edison didn't just sit down, have a brilliant idea, and build it on the first weekend. He and his team tested over 1,000 completely different, highly complex materials for the filament, ranging from platinum to carbonized bamboo to human hair. Every single time they ran an experiment, the filament would burn out within minutes, leaving them right back at square one in the pitch black. A young reporter once interviewed him during this grueling process and asked, "Mr. Edison, why do you continue to try when you have failed 1,000 times?" Edison looked at the reporter and replied with absolute clarity, "I have not failed 1,000 times. I have successfully discovered 1,000 ways that a light bulb will not work." Think about that profound shift in perspective. Every single failed experiment wasn't a defeat. It was a crucial process of elimination that brought him one step closer to the single material that would eventually illuminate the entire civilized world. Consider what these pioneers teach us. When Oprah Winfrey was fired from her Baltimore News job for being, quote, unfit for television due to her emotional investment, she leaned directly into that empathy and created a historical, multi-billion-dollar media empire. When Michael Jordan was cut from his high school varsity basketball team as a sophomore, he used the pain of that rejection as fuel to build a legendary work ethic, ultimately winning 6 NBA titles. And when Thomas Edison failed over 1,000 times to find a functional light bulb filament, he viewed each attempt as a successful elimination of what didn't work, which eventually allowed him to light up the entire world. What do these 3 stories teach us? They show us that failure is not an identity. It is simply data. It is a feedback mechanism telling you that your current strategy needs adjustment. The only way you can truly fail in life is if you stop trying. As long as you choose to learn from the setback, pick yourself up, and step back into the arena, you are entirely undefeated. We have covered an immense amount of ground today. We've looked at the hard truth that accidental success does not exist, and we've thoroughly dismantled the comfortable lies and excuses that keep so many people trapped in a life they hate. We've looked at the brutal economics of time management, realizing that every hour spent scrolling is an hour stolen from your future self. We've learned how to leverage the profound mathematics of compounding small wins by committing to just a 1% improvement every single day. We've connected our ambition to our deepest emotional anchors, honoring the immense sacrifices of our parents and loved ones by refusing to play small. We've explored the tactical architecture of our minds and our environments, learning to cultivate our internal garden through daily affirmations while radically engineering our social circle to include only those who push us to evolve. And finally, Through the monumental lives of Oprah Winfrey, Michael Jordan, and Thomas Edison, we have completely redefined failure as nothing more than a stepping stone toward greatness. Now, the ball is entirely in your court. Everything we have discussed over the last few minutes means absolutely nothing if you turn off this video, lock your phone, and return right back to your old, comfortable patterns. This is your moment of final challenge. This is where you must step up and practice radical, unyielding accountability. Take full ownership of your current situation. Stop blaming your boss for your lack of career growth. Stop blaming your parents or your childhood upbringing for your current insecurities. Stop blaming your lack of capital, your lack of time, or the economic circumstances of the world around you. Those are conditions. They are not your destiny. The moment you stop pointing fingers at external factors and look directly in the mirror is the exact moment you reclaim the ultimate power to rewrite your life story. You're the author of this book. Stop letting other people or your own fears hold the pen. I am challenging every single person watching this video right now to take immediate physical action within the next 60 seconds. Do not wait until tomorrow morning. Do not wait until Monday. Do it right now. Here is your two-step protocol. First, drop a comment below listing exactly one toxic habit you're going to permanently alter starting today, and one major goal you're setting for yourself that you refuse to compromise on. Writing it down and sharing it publicly creates an immediate psychological loop of accountability. Read through the comments of your peers, reply to someone, and let's build a global support network of high achievers right here in this community. Second, take a piece of paper or open a blank document on your device and physically map out your 1% daily wins for tomorrow. Write down your 10 minutes of exercise, your 5 vocabulary words, or your 10 pages of reading. Design your perfect day before it even begins. If you found real value in this video, if it shook you out of your comfort zone and gave you the clarity you needed today, please hit that like button. It tells the algorithm that this message is worth spreading to other people who desperately need to hear it. Share this video with a friend who you know has immense potential but is currently settling for less. And finally, if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for investing your most valuable resource, your time, with me today. Keep pushing, keep sacrificing, and remember, stop settling. For an average life, when you have greatness inside of you, I'll see you in the very next video. Take care.